Okay, this is chemistry week 4 term 2 week 4 CA. Assalamu alaikum, inshallah. Inshallah, the chemistry period today went well for everybody. It's mostly the same as last week. Muhim. What is an ion? An atom carrying a charge and a molecule carrying a charge. This is from last week. What is saturated solution? The maximum amount of solute is dissolved. Saturated is yani when you can't add more. Like you can keep on adding sugar to water and dissolving it until a certain extent, you know. After خلاص once you add sugar, it won't dissolve. That's when you say it became saturated, when it's the maximum amount of solute. Okay. I'm going through these quickly because they're easy. Only just memorize these concepts. What is the precipitation? If you read this game in the periodic, the precipitation is the formation of solid from a solution. Remember when you had the precipitation reaction, you'd have مثلا an ACl and it would be a solid, if you remember. So precipitation is whenever you have a solid from a solution. It has to be from a solution. You'd have aqueous on the left. Okay. An electric current is the flow of electric charge. This is pretty straightforward صراحة. Electric current is, everybody knows this. Okay, هلا balancing. Okay, and how do I show this? How does it come? Hello. Let me open the question. Okay, for question 5, the way they ask it. Okay, for question 5, they ask, they say they give you NaCl like this, and they say write. This is answered over here. Write the dissolution of NaCl in water. Okay, this solution معناتها separated. Okay, in water, it's going to be aqueous. Okay, Na is made up of two things, right? NaCl is made up of two things, and Na and Cl. Na and Cl, we have to put the charges, right? Since we're putting it in water, they're going to dissolve and become ions, and ions have charges. Na is Na plus because it's group 1, or Cl is Cl minus because it's in group 7. وأكيد لازم تكتب aqueous here because they're dissolved in water. Okay, that's it. That's literally it. Here CaCl2 dissolves in water because it's an ionic compound, right? Since it's an ionic compound, it dissolves and conducts electricity. We said ionic compounds, they conduct electricity. Sugar dissolves in water to form a solution that does not conduct electricity because sugar is not an ionic compound, it's a molecular compound. Okay, sugar is C6H12O6. I'm sure most of you guys know this. This is sugar, C6H12O6. That's not an ionic compound. It's a molecular compound, and molecular compounds don't conduct electricity with the exception of acids. Only acids conduct electricity. I think you guys remember. Only acids are the only molecules that conduct electricity. This is because, unlike sugar, CaCl2, when it dissolves, it forms ions that conduct electricity. Like I told you, CaCl2 is an ionic compound, so once it dissolves, it forms charged ions that allow the electric current to flow. Question 7. Species that participate in a reaction are called the predominant species. Remember, and I told you in the precipitation reactions, whenever I had مثلا Na plus plus Cl minus, aqueous, and then it formed a solid NaCl here. Okay, solid. Okay, this was the precipitate because it's a solid. I told you the predominant species, the ones that are taking part in producing this NaCl. So anything that takes part in the reaction or participates in the reaction, predominant species. Or since you need it next week, if it's not predominant and it's just it doesn't take part in the reaction, we call it spectator ions. But you don't need that for this week. Check the properties of molecular solids. Molecular solids have low melting points. Some molecular solids interact strongly with water to give conducting solution. Some of them conduct. شو هن? I told you هن acids. Okay, they have high boiling point, of course no. And molecular solids are bonded together through ionic bonds. أكيد not ionic bonds. Okay, remember molecular solids هن low boiling point و low melting point. However, on question 9, ionic solids هن high boiling point. This is supposed to be high melting point. Okay, it can't be low. Ionic هي high. Molecular هي low. Ionic solids form crystal lattices as well. Remember the structure of the ionic solid. It was surrounded by, over here in the book, here, each one is surrounded, like let's say this blue one. Each ion in the ionic solid is surrounded by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, it's always surrounded by 6 oppositely charged. Okay, they didn't ask it last week. I don't know if they'll ask it this week, but it's always good to know. And an ionic solid conducts electricity when molten. Yes, it does. I told you ionic solids, they conduct. Okay, this one, it comes every MS. What is the concentration? of 1dm cubed 0.5 moles. You know, C equals N over V. For C equals the moles, which is 0.5, over the V, which is 1. You get 0.5, but they want two significant figures for 0 molar. Part B, how many moles? They give you 0.1 dm cube and 0.5 molar. You know, N equals CV. Okay. Yeah, N equals CV. The concentration is 0.5, with the volume is 0.1. So N equals 0.050 moles. Okay. MOL. Okay. Part C, what volume of so what they want the volume? They gave 0.1 moles. They gave you 0.2 concentration. You know, V equals N over C. So V equals the moles, which is 0.1, over the concentration, which is 0.2. You get 0.5. With them two significant figures, we'll have 0.50 dm cube. Okay. Part D, a student wants to prepare 100 centimeters cube of 0.1 molar. They want the mass of the sodium carbonate. Sodium carbonate is Na2CO3. Okay. They gave it up, so I'm not going to scroll up. Okay, if they want the mass, I think you need the moles. And how do we find the moles? N equals CV. For N equals the concentration, which is 0.1, times the volume, which is 0.1. Why 0.1? Because we need it in dm cube. If I divide by 1000. Okay, for N equals 0.1 times 0.1, it should be 0.01. Okay. Since we have the moles, how do we find the mass? N equals M over M. For 0.01 equals the mass over the molar mass of Na2CO3. You can find it, but I'll give it to you. It's going to be 106. So if you cross multiply, you get M equals 1.06. Okay, grams, of course. Okay. Question 11. This one, they give you the ions and you have to find the compound. I told you you have to crisscross, remember? But if they have the same charge, then the charges cancel. وخلاص you write it مثل ما هي. Okay, Mg2 plus O2 minus, the 2 plus and the 2 minus they cancel, you'll be left with MgO. NH4Cl minus, do they have the same charge? They do. Plus 1 minus 1, for they cancel the charges, you'll be left with NH4Cl. Here, do they have the same charge? No. Here you have 2 plus, you have 3 minus. So you crisscross, you take the 2 down to the N2, and you take the 3 minus down to the Ca. So it becomes Ca3, and the 2 went down to the N, so N2. Okay. Part D, Al3 plus SO4 2 minus. They don't have the same charges, so you have to crisscross. 3 goes to the SO4, and the 2 goes to the Al. So you'll get Al2, okay, SO4, and we're going to put the 3 outside of SO4. You can't. Remember, I told you if there's already a subscript, you have to put it in brackets and put the subscript outside, okay? This is how you do it. Question 12. Complete the chemical equation. Yeah, okay, Henne, what they gave you, they didn't give you this 3, okay? They said balance. This is how they asked the question. They literally put this. Okay, they're just saying balance. It's easy. You guys know how to balance. Fe, you have 1 here. Here you have 1, so we're good. Cl3, here you have 3. Here you have 1. So what do? You just put the 3 here. That's it. You just have to put the 3. Everything is already written for you. Question 13. A solution in which the solvent is water is called an aqueous solution. You guys know this. Question 14. The concentration of a solution is the number of moles per liter. You know, concentration is C equals N over V. So C equals moles, N is moles, over volume is in liters or dm cube. Okay, so moles per liter or dm cube. I'm sorry for the handwriting. Huh? Question 15. 2 liters of 1 molar NaCl is prepared in a flask. 400 milliliters were taken from the solution, and then they're asking what's the concentration of those 400 milliliters. Okay, since we already have a solution and we're taking a small part of that solution, obviously the concentration will stay the same. If you remember from the periodic recordings, and I said if you have a big solution, you take a small amount from that solution and you pour it into another cup or beaker or whatever, it will have the same concentration unless you add water. Here we're not adding water, we're just pouring out of the original solution, so it will have the same concentration, which is 1.0 molar. 16. How many moles of NaOH are present in 400 milliliters of 2 molar? Okay, how many moles? N equals CV. For N equals 400, we need to change it to dm cube, so we divide by 1000. You get 0.4 times the volume. Yeah, 0.4 times 2, and I mixed them up. See, the concentration is 2, and the volume is 0.4. Same thing, you get the same answer. You get 0.8. Question 17. Uh, what is the solubility? What's the definition of solubility? Is the concentration of a saturated solution at T degrees Celsius. This came multiple choice. It didn't come tick the box. It came multiple choice. I remember. Question 18. Again, balance. The 2 wasn't written over here. You had to balance. You look at the Na. Here you have 2. Here you have 1. So you put the 2 over here. Look at the carbon. Here you have 1. Here you have 1. Look at the O. Here you have 3. Here you have 3. So everything is balanced except the Na, which we already put the 2 for. Okay. Question 19. An anion is negative. You guys know anion is negative. وأكيد question 20. A cation is positive. Question 21. Calcium ions. Okay, هول بتحفظون الcharges. Okay, calcium is Ca, and since it's group 2, it's 2 plus. Chloride is Cl, and since it's group 7, it's Cl minus. Okay, copper ion, since they put 2, it's gonna be 2, but 2 plus or minus plus. أكيد ليه play plus? And it's a metal. Copper is a metal, and metals are always positive. Okay. Sulfate ion. This one you memorize it from the table. If you guys remember the table, I gave it to you. I'll give it to you again. Over here. It's not here. It should load. Okay, I don't know. Okay, one sec. I'll find the table. Okay, I found the table. I wanted the ebooks. Okay, this is the table. Don't forget, if you want to screenshot it, here's the table. Let me zoom in. Hold up. Hold up. Oh. Okay, yeah, like this. Oh. Okay, yeah. This is the table. Memorize it if you want. Not if you want. I advise you to memorize it. I think you should memorize it because these ions you have to know them. Hala didn't come last week. I don't know why. But you're supposed to memorize them. صراحة. Okay. Name the following salts. You have a periodic table beside you. AgI is silver. I is iodine. Since it's an ionic compound, it will end with IDE. Okay. Silver iodide. Okay. If anything ends with I and E, it changes to IDE in a compound. PbSO4. Pb is lead. SO4 is sulfate. Yeah. You get SO4 being sulfate from the table. However, this lead II, it's also on the table. Okay, you need to know that because it's in the table. PbSPb. Yeah, see, it's lead II. Okay, you can't just say lead. You have to say lead II. Okay. Make sure you don't put capital letters. Okay, and I don't know why they're not allowing you to put capital letters, but don't put capital letters just in case in the AMS also they don't allow you. Li2CO3. Okay. Li is lithium. CO3 is carbonate. It's in the table. CO3 is carbonate. Okay. Lithium carbonate. Question 23. Okay, this is easy. To prepare 1 liter of 1 molar. Okay. How many do we? If we want the mass, we need the moles. So N equals CV. So N equals the concentration times volume is 1 times 1. So it's 1 mole. Okay. So how do you find the mass? N equals M over M. Okay, the moles is 1, mass is, we don't know, molar mass is 58.5 for NaCl. Okay, you guys multiply, you get 58.5 grams. Okay, by then, you add 250 milliliters of distilled water in a volumetric flask. It has to be a volumetric flask because to prepare solutions, you always use a volumetric flask. Okay, and then you swirl until most of the salts is dissolved. Okay, then you add more water to make exactly 1 liter. Okay, that's how you do it. That's it for chemistry this week. Good luck, everybody. I hope you do good. If you have any questions, you have my phone number. You have in the comments. I'll answer. Okay. Good luck, everybody. Thank you for watching. يلا مع السلامة.